The Assassin's Creed series is known for its combat, its stealth, its parkour, and its open world exploration. Today, we're going to dive into the stealth, and I want to let everyone know up front I am a huge Assassin's Creed fan who's played every single game, thousands of hours, and I do have my favorites. For parkour, I go 1 through 4. Those are the games that I feel had the best parkour, where you had the most freedom of expression. When it comes to stealth, Unity to me with the black box missions were the best in the game. And we'll talk about all of these things as I cover this series, but today we want to talk about the stealth. And basically what I want to do today is present to you what exactly the stealth is offering and what you can expect from it as we go forward, while we break down and guide you on how to use this stealth properly, things you can do, the new features and mechanics that are going to change the way you play drastically. Okay, I'm going to be zooming in on a couple of pieces of gameplay, showcasing a couple of different things, and I will see about putting some timestamps because I do want to take my time and break this down thoroughly as humanly possible. We got some different footage that we'll be showcasing, giving you guys a quick look into some of the cool stuff that we see out here. That's super exciting and interesting. So let's go ahead and discuss some of this as we go forward. Okay, first things first, we're going to jump in and right away talk about the stealth heavily and hopefully help you guys see some things. I'm zooming in on some of this footage here. Jay hooked me up with this here. And what I want to talk about first is there's no eagle anymore. If you played the most recent Assassin's Creed games, the eagle used to be a staple. It made the game missions way too easy. You pretty much just stand up far away from the mission and call your eagle out, mark every single enemy, mark all the treasures, and pretty much have the mission completed before you even go in. And I think now making this more manual and making the player have to observe adds a little layer of depth. So you're watching here the two mechanics of observation, which is a key thing in this game, in my opinion, and it's super important. So as you can see, you mark all the areas, all the things that you can observe, and then you can start infiltrating. I want to take a moment to pause here. You can see up top on the top of the HUD, there's a gentleman looking at me, and there's an eyeball right above the Kanto Castle. Okay, that means he cannot see me at all. If I rewound this just a smidget, you will see that he actually could see me. If you're invisible, the eyeball will be wide open. If you're in a bush like I am here, no one can see me. Depending on what I'm doing, that's going to be a big thing. This is one of the biggest changes in the game, right? It's the light and shadow system that they've added. And this is why I'm zooming in. I want you to really pay attention to that. So as I get into the shadow, this person right in front of me cannot see me anymore. And the indicator drops because of that. And I also proned, which makes my visibility even less. So standing in the shadow alone is going to change the game more than ever. And then, of course, shutting off the lights, it's going to be a big deal as well. This is very important. And while we could talk about the grapple and getting up high, I do want to take a moment to talk about one of the craziest things that I will have to make a full video about soon. Basically, the difficulty has two different features. There's difficulty for combat and difficulty for stealth. We're going to only talk about stealth difficulty today, but basically, if you put it on normal, the enemies won't see you standing up on this roof. But if you put it on expert, these guys will look up at the roof. They'll look around like a normal person would, and it'll be a little more realistic and more difficult and more challenging for you. This is something I am going to be playing on because I think that's awesome, and that just adds the intense feeling of infiltrating these bases. And it's going to change the whole game because standing on this roof, nobody notices. It's not a big deal, and you could just run around in most of the games with that feature like that. So this is a bigger deal than ever. It's a lot of different features within that difficulty for stealth. And once everything is fully revealed, I'll get more into it, but I just wanted to point that out and to go from there. And as I talked about, you're going to be using your tools, whether they're the bells to get someone's attention, proning, being able to get through the bushes. All of this mechanics are new features, guys. This is special. When I talk about the proning or the shadows, these are new features. And the reason I stress this is because it's changing the way you play the game. You can literally stand out in the open, shut off all the lights in the area, and pretty much be good to go. As you can see right here, just turn the lights off. Now no one can see you and you're good to go. And you can do this throughout the game, everywhere you go. And this is going to be critical because proning and getting through secret areas, hiding here and being able to take someone out during that situation, another good feature. Little details like that are going to change the way you play the game and really open the door for you. It's super important, right? So just know how dynamic this is going to be. People who've been playing Assassin's Creed like myself will have to get used to the light and shadow system. We'll have to get used to the proning system. We'll have to get used to a lot of these mechanics that haven't really been in this game. Never been in this game. So yeah, as you can see, we have our bell to draw enemies close. We have our kunai, our shurikens, our smoke bombs. Those are things I talked about in the combat section. We're not going to go too in depth, but you can do some heavy duty damage. You can't always take enemies out with them. So use them sparingly and be careful about how you're stealthing and when you're going forward. We talked about this in a previous video, but now if there's a samurai or a high level enemy and you throw a smoke bomb, they won't just stand in there and cough. They'll run away from the smoke, which makes more sense. And while you can stealth them and try to fight them still, it's a big change compared to previous games. And this is going to be a dynamic thing where you can just deter people away or lure them to you in different ways. So I think that's a fun feature, a necessary new tool, very cool mechanic in my opinion. And so once again, all of these little details that are changing the way you play stealth, right? And remember, once you alert the base, they'll start searching for you. They'll still have somebody on guard and someone else will be searching, and they'll team up together, and they'll even call in the guardian, who's the high level officer looking for you. All of these things are going to be factors when you're playing these missions, and you're going to be having to do the right thing. Talking about quick throwing, we have to learn the mechanics on these things to be able to throw them faster and to be able to hit targets quicker. The point that is that it's still into the game, and you still have to be smart about how you utilize these tools when you go forward. So pay attention, make sure the enemies are right where you need them to be when you utilize all of that. Okay. And again, I just wanted to kind of stress out the fact that the stealth is very different. Okay, it's very different. There's a lot of new features, and it's going to change the way you play it and the way the game feels for you as well. Standing in the shadow, waiting for somebody, taking someone out and then rushing to the shadow, or proning, the different assassinations, the fact that you can grapple somebody and pull them in. You don't have to kill someone sometimes. You can just grab them and do that. And as you can see, you can pull enemies into the well. You can stab them through these doors. You can even kill them in these boxes. These are all assassinations for stealth. Double assassinations, yes, it's back. There's plenty of good Assassin's Creed to be had in this game. And I cannot wait to showcase this when I get my hands on the full game when it releases. Super cool stuff. I'm loving it. And remember, not everybody is assassinable, if that's even a word. Some of these people will deny your assassination. They'll get hurt maybe, but they will not die. And you have to play smart with that and do other things to take them out, distract them, pull them away, being able to get your weapons stronger, leveling it up. There's things like that you can do that's going to be a big drastic plus. And so many cool ways and cool things that's going to happen in here. One of my favorite things that I am waiting to see is the way the enemies respond now. They're not going to be so quick to just go back to normal. And even though they will go back to normal, they're going to be on alert searching. They're going to stick together in certain instances. There's certain scenarios that are really cool. And I want to take this moment right here to just talk about how ridiculous this is. All right, he's literally 2 feet away from me, and the shadow is so dark in that situation, he can't see me. And of course, this is on normal. We want to see how expert and all that happens when I get my hands on the game. I'll be playing it on that mode. But this right here changes the way you play. And so I would recommend to take your time and focus on these new systems. Proning, being the light and shadow systems. All of these things, the way the enemies respond now, it's going to be different than it's been. They have more reactive, more teamwork. Some of them are staying together. A lot of little things like that are going to be super interesting to see how that plays out as we go forward. Of course, it's easier said than done, and every play style is different. Maybe you want to hack and slash and do some fun stuff. But what I can say, one last thing about some of the stealth here with Yasuke, he's still able to stealth with his bow and arrow. All he has to do is, hit some shots from far, but he can also just get behind people. So there's a lot of ways you can stealth with him still. You can use your scouts to pull other enemies in to take out, assassinate somebody or distract somebody, things like that. So it's not like he's going to be useless when it comes to stealthing. He still can play a role as you go forward. So, it's exciting, it's interesting, and you will see where that goes as time goes. But yeah, it's an exciting year, to say the least. But I'm super excited. There's a lot to talk about with this stealth, and I just want to take a moment to just address some things on my personal opinion. Earlier, I was saying that this stealth might be the best in the trilogy of the RPG games. Well, you have Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. And while they had stealth in them, this has way more new mechanics, and the structures of giant castles infiltrating, these guys' bases can be special. And it's probably going to have some memorable places, just like Unity had when it comes to the Colosseum or anything that they had in their systems overall with the game. So I do think that this one will be memorable in that regard. Is it the best? Will it be the best? We don't know. But that's just a conversation starter that I want to get into in the comments. How do you feel about this information? And are you excited to be able to do all these different things that we haven't been able to do in Assassin's Creed? And of course, all the things that we do know, whether it's the smoke bombs or the shurikens or the kunai, all of that stuff is still in the game. And we still have a very good chance to get more of that. Feel free to leave your comment about stealth and your opinion. Again, nobody's wrong here. Everybody has their thoughts and feelings. The game is not out yet. We're basing this off of people's hands-on and things like that. So, each his own. Feel free to just share what you like, what you feel, how you see this. We'll have a discussion. As for me, I do have a combat guide, really good in-depth one, breaking a lot of things down. We're going to be covering everything, so it should be popping up on your screen. You can go check that out. Make sure you like, comment, so that YouTube knows that this is the place to be for more Assassin's Creed. We're going to keep on bringing you bangers. See you on the next one.